or relieved, occupied, or practiced. Their hearts never go unnoticed. Sufis, as justifying the God's
And
attribute.
attribute. Sir, this is the conclusion. Sufis' world is a world of peace and harmony. Their mission is always a service to mankind and worship only for Almighty Allah. They believe in peace, tolerance, and comprehension. Sultan Mashaikh Hazrat Khwaja Nizamuddin Awliya was one of the most renowned and revered Sufi saints of India, who is also known by his title of Mahbub Ilahi, beloved of God. His holy shrine at Delhi is world-renowned spiritual center. He had propagated the teachings of Islam and the teachings of real Sufism to the people of the world. He spread the message of love, peace, tolerance to the mankind. He lived a life of strict austerity in the tradition of Sufi saints. The real Sufism uh, or Islamic mysticism is entirely different from Western Sufism, which means to be influenced by other religions as prevailing in some European countries. There is no Sufism and spirituality without Islam and Sharia. The real Sufism is based on the strict Islamic faith and its teachings. It works within the framework of Sharia, the Tariqat, the Sufi way of life for spiritual upliftment, advancement, and purity of ideas is not separate from Sharia or Islamic laws. An eminent and earliest Sufi saint, Hazrat Ali Hujwari Dada Ganj Bakhsh say, as light cannot be separated from the sun, similarly Shariat cannot be separated from Tariqat. Sufism or Islamic mysticism came to India with Sufi saints with the spread of Islam from the Middle Eastern countries during 11th and 12th centuries. It was the overpowering spell and charm of their magnetic personality, spiritual powers, and exemplary conduct that won the hearts of millions of the people of India and thus laid foundation of Islamic mysticism in the country. As Hazrat Nizamuddin Awliya said, Almighty holds dear those who love Him for the sake of human beings and those who love human beings for the sake of Almighty. This is the message of oneness of humanity of all of Almighty's creations. For the Sufis, therefore, a service to God meant service to humanity. So, Sufis plays a great role to promote brotherhood, love for all, and improve society as well as a whole, morally, spiritually, physically, and psychologically. Besides this, Sufi teachings by focusing on the welfare of society and the advancement of humanity. In the contemporary world, Sufi community should take steps to renew and develop local institutions to offer people a
Mr.
lesson in
Ashok,
social
could you please
development.
wind up? Time is up.
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir.
Thank you for your presentation. And at this time, I would like to invite the co-chairperson, Dr. Afraz Ahmad Basati from Kashmir, to come and speak on this session.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Yeah. First of all, respected Professor Shashadri, chairperson of the session, Dr. Jeremiah Graham, moderator, Professor Hamid Nassim Rafiawadi, obviously must be there on the chair. I'm not in a position to see anyone of you. The organizers, first of all, I must congratulate organizers for organizing this very relevant topic and this international conference on the theme of on a very important theme. In the session, 10 papers were supposed to be presented, but I think only 5 papers were present, 5 to 6. Since I'm here online, I was not able to listen to everyone very clearly, but I would like to comment on a couple of papers. Hope one among them will be, one was by Dr. Sheikh Idris Ahmad. His topic was an Islamic approach of the interreligious dialogue with reference to inclusivism and exclusivism. I think he presented his paper very crisply and within the shortest possible time. The focus of the paper was that, in spite being in every religion, there are exclusivist teachings and commands also, but in spite of the fact that still, in spite of the exclusivist teachings, there is a lot of scope for interfaith dialogue because there are enough inclusivist teachings in all the religions and here in particularly Islam. Then another paper was by Dr. Ziauddin. It was also a good paper. His uh, title was Respect for Other Religions, and he read this paper with reference to the writings of Sir Said Ahmad Khan, and he emphasized that Sir Said Ahmad during his days emphasized pluralism, which is obviously very near and close to interfaith dialogue, where he also encouraged in his writings that there should always be dialogue with Christians, Hindus, Sikhs, and other communities of India. Then Jaspreet Kaur Sandhu from Punjabi University, she read also a good paper. The title was Interfaith Understanding and World Peace, a Sikh Perspective, where he tried to emphasize that Sikh religion has enough ingredients in it to call people for coexistence, harmony, and interfaith dialogue. Then Ashik Ahmad Ganai, he read a paper on the title Sufism and Peaceful Dialogue, again where he tried to emphasize that the Sufis have always been the projectors of peaceful dialogue wherever they lived and wherever they had stayed, wherever they lived and wherever they interacted with the people around them. I will just like to finally have all papers were good, but as Jeremiah Graham again and again repeated, we wish we had enough time. I just as a suggestion, I may propose that we could have limited the number of paper presenters, plus we could have limited the time involved in the inaugural sessions and valedictory sessions. It will be good because at the end of the day, technical sessions are more important than inaugurals and the valedictory sections. But still, I again congratulate and thank the organizers, particularly our respected teacher, Professor Hamidullah Marazi and Professor Shishadri and Dr. Jeremiah Graham. Thank you very much on that note. Jazakallah.
Thank you, sir, for your remarks. And at this time, I would like to invite the chairperson, Professor Shishadri, to speak regarding this session and the session's theme.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum, Sat Sri Akal, and Namaskar. My greetings to everyone. I begin with this because I have been brought up in a secular tradition, and my teachers were from different communities, and none of them spoke against any culture, any religion. You may say that I assimilate what is good in every culture, every religion. The first thing I want to say is thanks to Dr. Jeremiah and Dr. Afroz making my task of summarizing very light. I make reference only 2 points. One, by the last speaker, the two of them who referred to Sufism. And the second, I refer to Chinmay's methodology. There are 2 papers where I found there is a way we can reorient ourselves to look at the issues that faces as far as society, peace and harmony is concerned. I think we should give it a try, especially the younger generation, because we may not be there after 10, at least I know that. I say this, I am 73 plus, so I can say that. Maybe after 10 years I may not be there to listen to you, but I will listen from somewhere else. That is certain. My field has been education, and Two things I want to share with you, that when you talk of any dialogue, the first thing that we have to think of is the level of the people with whom we have a dialogue. The unfortunate part in our system is the whole system of education is bureaucratized. And unfortunately, only a few managements support something other than teaching, which we can call education. Teachers are only teachers because they have got a syllabus to complete and students have an exam to pass. The day they don't wait for the mark sheet, the day the exam is over, everything is forgotten. The party after the evening of the last paper. But who are the educators? Those teachers who give something to that student that the student carries forward in life with and throughout the life. And one should be lucky to have such good educators who can give us those values. And what are those values? Values of nobility, values of compassion, value of humanity. What our education fails to do today is that is why teachers come to blows, managements come to blows, students come to blows, which was not the case when we were young, we were children. I think we were very lucky to have such teachers and such people around us who taught us how to live a good life, how to be of use to the others, not to kill others. No religion is immoral. My teachers never told me any religion is bad, any religion is immoral. We are moral or immoral, not a religion. So look for that. Let us not call an atheist as immoral. Let him not believe in God. As long as he is ethically good, he is good. He can do good to others. Accept that person for his ethical goodness. He is there out to serve others, whether he believes in or God is immaterial for me. Anyone who does good in the name of God or without the name of God, accept that person as a human being. Let us not live in fear. Not only Rabindranath Tagore wanted to lift this country up when you overcome fear. Marie Curie also had said, as long as we live in fear, we will never grow up. We will always surrender. The first thing we have to learn is to enjoy the freedom that knowledge gives us and use that freedom for a good purpose. What is that purpose? Be good, do good to others. And so long as we don't do that, we will not, and for that we need to understand others, irrespective of what their culture is, irrespective of what their status is, irrespective of what their educational level is. Was Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him, was he educated like us? Was Jesus Christ educated like us? Was Zoroaster educated like us? The answer is, they were not educated in the sense that we know, but they were men of wisdom. They were all the saints of all the religions. They were all persons of wisdom. They did not need any qualifications like us. So my point is, let us learn from the wisdom of the wise people who have endowed a great legacy, जो हमें बुनियाद में दिए हैं, विरासत में दिए, हमें उनसे सीख लेनी चाहिए. उनको हम नाम देते हैं, लेकिन गुलजार साहब ने कहा था, क्या कहा था? हमने देखी है वो नाकों में महकती खुशबू, प्यार को प्यार ही रहने दो, कुछ नाम न दो. Let us accept them for what they have given us. And what is that? Love, compassion, understanding, goodwill, and one more very important thing, gratitude. Unless we love others, we won't be grateful. Unless we respect others, we won't be grateful. When love and respect combine, we have what is called reverence. Reverence is at a higher level. We normally talk of reverence only to prophets, saints, God. But we can have reverence for our teachers, our friends. We can have reverence even for our children, our students, because they are all human beings. Reverence for animals, plants. They are also the things that contribute to our life. Our education should make us understand the unity of all living things. We live as human beings, we must live in a world that is humane, and that has to go into the minds of children. All I want to share is at 4 points. If you want to have a dialogue, I have marked, नहीं वो पेपर में बदल दूंगा, बाद में दूंगा आपको. Where did that page disappear, man? To engage in a dialogue, our mind should accept three principles to begin with. The fanatics, ignoramuses, and hypocrites make noise to force their view. The wise ones remain humble, patient, and persuasive. Understanding, learning, and sharing is their motive. Number two, this world is momentary in terms of eternal time. I am not the master or the owner of the world or any of its assets. I am not even the owner of whatever I know, whatever I possess. I am only a co-trustee, a co-traveler like others around me. The world can go on with me, without me, and despite me. Let us understand that. And therefore, we need to share what we know. We may stand corrected when we are shown we are wrong. God is indeterminate, nature is infinite. I believe in pantheism, so I believe infinity of God as well as nature. I can only discover the nature to the limited extent I can. Therefore, the only people who can share and care are those who can identify with humanity at large, and they are the people who are the happiest people in the world. Unless, as the holiness, His Holiness the Dalai Lama says, unless you are happy, you won't be able to share, you cannot spread happiness. It is only unhappy people. Leo Tolstoy's statement comes to me, all happy families, society is happy alike. All unhappy families are unhappy in their individual ways. So let us learn to be happy. And I will not go into details, I will submit my modified paper to you. Before I conclude, we need to be conscious all the time. When we discuss, we need to have dialogue, discourse, and dialectic, I have mentioned in my paper. What we know decides what to say. It was a forward I got which I have modified. What we know decides what we say. Our skill decides how to say. Our attitude decides how much to say. Professor Vani is not here. Or how much not to say. Oh, he's there. Lawyers do that. What to say, how much to say, and what not to say. And finally, our wisdom decides whether to say or not. So let us stick to that. Let us try to spread understanding, mutual respect, love, happiness among everyone, and whatever act we do, whatever we commit, let us be clear and honest to ourselves what is the goal behind it, so that others gain, not lose. Others live a better life, not kill. I believe this world can be a place that God wanted it to be. And let us learn to make this world a much better place than the one that we got because of colonization, because of Western education. I will be happy if Indians write Indian history, Indian religions, Indian philosophy. They write about Indian culture and we pass it on, authentic information to our students. Our education failed us. Our teachers are good enough to give something. But overall, the system has failed us. But today, people want success, not happiness. Yeah. Successful people can only donate. Happy people can always share. Thank you so much for your patience. As a chairperson, I think I'll declare this session as closed. Yeah? Yeah, there are three, there's a small video, 1.5 minute, which is about an artist's representation of destruction and how, see, in all acts of terrorism, violence, war, who suffers most? It is the child, the orphan. It is the women who are rendered destitutes. Men go, get killed, or they kill others, they don't come back. They leave behind widows, aged parents, young children. So वो जरा बता दे आपको, ये देखिए आप, उसके बाद भी एक है, आप वो भी देखिए, एक चिट्ठी जो कुछ ऐसी भावनाएं हैं जो कहीं नहीं जाती, लिखी नहीं जाती, वो देखी जाती है, वो देख के सीधा यहाँ घुस जाता है वो, हमें ये याद रखनी चाहिए। और दूसरी मोहम्मद दरवेश के और एक वॉर नाजी वॉर कैंप के बहुत कुछ साल पहले मेरे पास आया था, मैं पढ़ूंगा, शायद आपको दिखाई नहीं देगा वहाँ से। What is education? At the end of World War II, this letter was found in a Nazi concentration camp. It is addressed to teachers. Dear teachers, it is by a Nazi survivor or a person who died who wrote a letter. I am a survivor of a concentration camp. My eyes saw what no man should witness. Gas chambers built by learned engineers. Children poisoned by educated physicians. Infants killed by trained nurses. Women and babies shot and burned by high school and college graduates. So, I am suspicious of education. My request is, help your students to become human. Your efforts must never produce learned monsters, skilled psychopaths, educated illiterates. Reading, writing, arithmetic are important only if they serve towards making our children more humane. This is what is given there. And the last one, just they are taking the trouble of uploading. The war will end, the leaders will shake hands, the old woman will keep waiting for a martyred son. That girl will wait for a beloved husband. And those children will wait for their heroic father. I don't know who sold our homeland, but who paid the price. I saw Mahmoud Darwish. मुझे उम्मीद है कि हम और एक अच्छी ज़िंदगी हमारे आने वाली नस्लों को दे सकेंगे। खुदा हाफिज़।
Thank you, sir, for your valuable remark and the artistic expressive videos. I would like to request Dr. Tabassum Sheikh Madam to please felicitate Dr. Sheshadri, sir. Thank you all. Now here we are at the end of this session. I thank Professor Sheshadri sir for chairing this session. I thank Dr. Afroz Ahmed Bisati sir for as a co-chairperson for this session. I thank Dr. Jeremiah Graham as for moderating this session. I thank all the management members and Dr. Mirazi sir and Dr. Tabassum madam for gracing this occasion. I thank all the speakers and presenters who present their paper in this session. Now it's time for lunch. So I request all the guests to proceed to the Assembly Hall KMA Society for lunch. I request all the teachers and non-teaching staff to proceed for lunch in the canteen. Thank you very much, and we will resume by 3 p.m. over here. Thank you very much for the next session.